Jamuna tira vanachari. Jamuna tira vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna tira vanachari. Jamuna tira vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Madhava Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Girivaradhari. Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna tira vanachari. Jamuna tira vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Hari Brachakacharya, His Divine Grace, La A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Śrīmad Prabhupada Ki Jai, Śrīmad Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Granthara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Śrīmad Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 4, Text 4. It's very long. Maybe I'll just read to myself. Nabhistu jathabhi lasitam shuprajastvam avarudhyati pramodabhara bivalo gadgadaksharaya gira shvairam grihita naraloka sadharmam bhagavantam purana purusham maya vilasita matir vatsa tateti shanuragam upalalayam param nivritim upagataha nabhi king nabhi tu certainly jatha vilasitam according to his desire Shuprajastvam, the most beautiful son. Avarudhya, getting. Ati pramoda, of great jubilation. Bhara, by an excess. Vivala, being overwhelmed. Gadgada, aksharaya, faltering in ecstasy. Gira, with a voice. Shairam, by his independent will. Grihita, accepted. Naraloka sodharamam, acting as if a human being. Bhagavantam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purana Purusham, the oldest among living beings. Maya, by Yoga Maya. Vilasita, bewildered. Mati, his mentality. Vatsa, my dear son. Tata, my darling. Iti, thus. Shwa anuragam, with great affection. Upalalayam, raising. Parama, transcendental. Nivritim, bliss. Upagataha, achieved. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Due to getting a perfect son according to his desire, King Nabhi was always overwhelmed with transcendental bliss and was very affectionate to his son. It was with ecstasy and a faltering voice that he addressed him, "My dear son, my darling." This mentality was brought about by Yogamaya, whereby he accepted the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Father, as his son, as his own son. Out of his supreme goodwill, the Lord became his son and dealt with everyone as if he were an ordinary human being. Thus the King Nabi began to raise his transcendental son with great affection, and he was overwhelmed with transcendental bliss, joy, and devotion. Purport: the word Maya is used in the sense of illusion, considering the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be his own son. Maharaj Nabhi was certainly in illusion, but this was transcendental illusion. This illusion is required. Otherwise, how can one accept the Supreme Father as his own son? The Supreme Lord appears as the son of one of his devotee, just as Lord Krishna appeared as the son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. These devotees could never think of their son as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for such appreciation would hamper their relationship of paternal love. Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivashesha Shunyavadi Pashatade Chatarine. This is a very wonderful verse, relationship between Krishna and his devotee. It's the perfection of Krishna's devotees. The devotees' desire is that they want to serve Krishna perfectly, with love. So much so that they even want Krishna to be their own son, so they can experience that love that ordinary people have for their son. That's pure love. When you talk about love, that, sometimes people can be faking to be love. But when Prabhupada explains that one loves his son, it's not a fake, it's a real love. So sometimes Krishna's devotee, we want Krishna to be our son, just so they can experience that loving feelings that they can offer to Krishna. So it's a very transcendental relationship. Of course, Krishna is the supreme source of everything. He doesn't belong to anyone. He's transcendental. We don't own Krishna. But sometimes it's mentioned here that Krishna is like an ordinary human being. He acts like an ordinary human being to accept the service from his devotee. Like he acts like their son. Actually, in fact, in the material world, it's the opposite. We think this is our son, this is my wife, this is the husband, and this is actually a material consciousness. But Prabhupada explains here that we need to have that feeling. In order to increase our love for anything, we have to have that feeling, that affectionate feeling. We're not a rock or a tree. There must be some affection towards each other to develop the loving affairs. Otherwise, nothing will progress. So there is always a feeling, there is always a love, there is an affection for each other. But ultimately, that loving affection and feelings, that's for God. We are imposing on to others. So that's why Prabhupada says here is Maya, illusion. But when you love Krishna, when you love Krishna's devotee, in relation to Krishna, that is transcendental love. So spiritual love, people make a mistake. They call, they have loving affairs. They say, it's transcendental. But they do not understand, love is only for Bhagavan. Yeah, love is only for Krishna. So when you, in the material world, everything is connected to mundane love. Sometimes people say love is God. God is almighty. They don't know who God is, but they know God is all love. Actually, that is actually the perfection of devotional service. When we can actually attain pure love for Krishna, then that is the perfection of our service. Because everything is based on love. If we don't have love for us, for our family, we don't have love for each other, how are we going to love God? So ultimately, we need to have that love, isn't it? A little bit of love. Of course, we need to understand the principle behind everything we do. So, Krishna, He created this world. Even when for us to understand these things, come to the platform where we can understand that there is a creator behind who loves us. Krishna loves us. This is why he creates a situation where we have to serve him. Somehow or another, Krishna brings us to his lotus feet because somewhere down the line, we desire to serve God. So he makes arrangement. A little bit of attitude towards Krishna, a little bit of service to Krishna or his devotee. Krishna will create a situation where we have to turn to him. So this is, like in Mayapur, it's known as Mayapur. Maya means city of illusion. Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, or any pur means city. So it is explained that it is not like what people think, Maya. It is Yoga Maya, Mahamaya, Yoga Maya, two types of Maya. So when you go to the Holy Dham, you see so many things. There's material activity going on, people, there's businesses, all kinds of people. But there's material vision. We have to develop the spiritual vision to be able to see, Krishna consciousness in that. This is why Krishna consciousness is a very subtle matter. So when Krishna comes to this world, he's not like he becomes one of us. He acts like a human being. Only few can know this is God. Even when Krishna was here 5,000 years ago at the Kurukshetra, only few knew he is Bhagavan. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Others didn't, the Pandavas, the Kundi Devi, Bhishmadev. Not everybody knew. That's why he had to show the universal form to others, to convince them that he is Supreme God. And even so, after showing the universal form, many, like Duryodhana, he didn't accept him. He was saying he's just showing his mystic power. But the devotees knew Krishna is supreme. He doesn't need to show this universal form to Krishna. Krishna is with his two-armed form, Manusham Rupam, and he playing and pastime with, playing with his devotees at the pastimes, Krishna's pastimes, Leela. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, only the foolish accept him as an ordinary human being. So we talk about love. We want to develop that pure love that we have. That's a very difficult thing. Because in the material world, we don't have that love. Any case, we actually don't have any love for anyone. Even people are, they have some understanding. This is why people always talk about love. Even George Harrison sang that song, My Sweet Lord, because he understood that love is for sweet Lord, Krishna. He couldn't find the love. He couldn't find the love in this world. There's so much hatred, and there is so much violence. There's no love in this world. Businessmen, scratch my back, I scratch your back. It's all based on money, economy. There's not really love there. People work But underneath, they hate their boss. They can't wait to get out of their office, go home. Because when you go home, you have some good feeling amongst the family. Someone close to you, your children, your family, husband, wife, there's some kind of love there. There's affection for each other. But even so, there's not really, if you ask your wife, your children, would you take your karma, for the activities, any bad activity, would they accept your karma? They would not accept your karma. So they don't. I always found this very interesting because people, if you really love someone, you will die for them. That's the platform of real love. You die for them. They say, die for your country, fight for your country. That's love, actually. You believe in that. But the country will be here. You'll be dead in a battlefield. So Krishna, he says, I am sitting in everyone's heart. Sridam sarva bhutanam. In the heart of all the living entities. Sridam, as a friend. He's a real friend. Krishna is our friend. He never leaves us. Everybody left you, but Krishna never left us. He's always in our heart. Like when people get married, they have big ceremony and spend a lot of money, and that one day, king for a day, they say. And then, after all the ceremony is over, all the thing, everybody left. And you were just on your own, you and your husband and wife, isn't it? Everybody's gone. Then you have to sort it out. What are you going to live your life? How to make everything go well, get a place, and money, and so many things. Just a big anxiety. But before that, everybody. So where is actually their love? And the wife may be thinking, make sure that the husband is strong and he can work for her. Make sure he can earn. He has good ability, power, strength, and qualified. He has a degree. Parents will make sure that their daughter is married to a person who can provide for her. So there is always a lot of ulterior motive. So if the wife or the husband not in a position to take care of each other, there is no interest. But Krishna accepts everyone as his servant. He accepts everyone. Krishna is so loving. Even someone who doesn't serve Krishna, Krishna always there to make arrangement how he can come to me. He's planning how he can bring him back to his lotus feet. Krishna is, so that's his kindness. Krishna is so kind. Even the whole life, we are working for ourselves. And then at the end of our life, the body is not functioning anymore. We are old age. And then Krishna didn't mind. You can come to the temple, serve Chanamita, and sit down, Chanjapa. You're not able to do much for him. But still, Krishna accepts you. We want someone to work for us. You're unproductive. We don't want you. We're not productive. We're just chanting Japa, Hare Krishna, sitting in the temple. We didn't bring money. We didn't go out. We're not able to do anything because the body is falling apart. But still, Krishna accepted us. So Krishna created this old age. At least at the end of our life, we serve him. Okay, you gave yourself so much. That's why there is sannyas life. There's for ashramas, varnashrama system. That at least at the end, we're not able to do much for yourself. Turn to Krishna. Come to the temple, chant Hare Krishna. So that is love. That love have to understand. We have to understand what is pure love. Pure love is when we can understand through knowledge that God is the supreme love. He loves us more than we love ourselves. We don't understand what is love. Only He understands. This is why He makes so much arrangement for Krishna to come here. Krishna sends His representative here. He Himself comes here because He wanted to make sure that how He can bring us back to His lotus feet. So that's why I said it's a very subtle. Krishna consciousness is very subtle. Krishna can arrange with someone to talk to us. He may not personally. But He's sitting in our heart. So as soon as we make a little bit of effort, Krishna will arrange to send someone to talk to you. It's just like, buying a product or something. A customer comes and there's always people around in office that make sure that he gets taken care of, given appropriate place to sit in a room, in a comfortable chair, maybe something to eat or a drink. They have everything there to make him feel good because he had interest. He's come to the office to buy their goods. So similarly, Krishna, He's make all the arrangement as soon as we show a little bit of interest to serve Him. Even if we don't want to serve Him, still Krishna is taking care of us. You see the animals, they're getting their food. They're not going around chanting His names on Sankirtan, chanting japa, or going to any of the program, sitting in the class, listen to Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha, about Krishna. Krishna still take care of them. They're Nastik, atheist. They're getting well fed. So this is His love. So when you understand love, the higher principle of love is material principle to take care of ourselves, to take care of each other. That's not love. But it's the lower level of love. But real love is when you do for Krishna, love Krishna so much that you don't want anything in return. Bhakti. We don't say bhakti to anything else other than bhakti, loving service, loving devotional service to Krishna. That is bhakti, pure love. We don't want anything in return. But just like coming to the program, sitting in class, you don't have to do these things. There are thousands of Indians in Australia, all over the world. But only a handful of Indian people are coming to temple because they understand that I want to hear about Krishna. I'm not getting anything, but they know that by chanting holy name, you're trying to please Krishna. You're trying to you're attracted to Krishna. There are so many things that are dragging us down to attract, that we can be attracted to, sidetracked to in the material world. That's Maya. So we force ourselves to be attracted to Krishna. Even if we see the deity, we're not really attracted because we don't understand. He didn't talk to us. He didn't jump out of the altar and say, "Hey, Haribol, how are you?" and give you a hug. He didn't come up. He's still standing there. So you think he didn't get anything in relationship. How every day you see Gaunita, every day he's still standing there. So when you see something with our eyes, with our naked senses, we don't understand things. That's why you have to hear about Krishna. When you see Krishna, but we can hear about Krishna, how he looks like, how his lila activities, then we will understand him, not by seeing. We have to see at the same time hear about Krishna. So similarly, Krishna consciousness is to understand these loving affairs between Krishna and his devotee. Krishna is never alone. You see, he is always next to Radharani. Krishna, we don't actually have any. Srila Prabhupada always wanted Krishna with Radha, and never alone Krishna. Or he's a cowherd boy there, cows there, gopis there. If Radharani is not there, then he's full of cowherd boys and friends and Golok Vrindavan. He's not simply alone and behind there's a big light. That's the Mayavadi version, impersonal aspect of Krishna. That's not perfect realization of God. When you can understand God, a complete form of understanding of God is to not impersonal, is to be able to understand that everything comes from him. He has a form. He is full of variety. He is in spiritual world with friends and gopas and gopis. He has his own place, a residence, spiritual world, spiritual realm. So impersonal understanding is not complete. That's why there's that verse which explains, Parameti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabdate, that Brahman understanding, you see all these material things, but you have to know where is it coming from. Just like if you know the father, but there's mother and father. It's not just one thing. There is a package. So Krishna is the complete, Om Purnamadha Purnamidam, complete form of everything, the source of everything. So it's just like when you eat food, you don't think that just falling on your plate. Somebody has to cook it. Before it's cooking, somebody has to get it from the market. Before it comes to market, someone's in the field, plowing it, growing it. Right? So it's not just boom on your plate. There's a lot of work behind to put it to feed your belly, to goes in your stomach, so you can get your energy. This is not just so you have to understand the whole concept, that how everything is in place, who is behind it, how it is all working. So when you talk about love, it's not just a vague thing. You have to know the full picture of everything. If you want to love someone, you want to know the background, who they are, how they came about, what's their position, and so it's good to know those things, their background check, isn't it? So similarly, a devotee, a bhakta, want to know everything about Krishna. The bhakta want to know everything about Krishna because they love Krishna. He goes, I don't want to know. God is last thing. I feed myself first, my family first, our country first. What's your country? Nothing belongs, not one hair on your head that belongs to you. It's very weird that before you're a single man and suddenly you have a family and suddenly you have expansion of kids and children, and one day you're not going to have that. So how is it that it belongs to you? Before you didn't have anything. You're one single person. And suddenly you have this family around you. And one day, and then you get this big illusion thinking, wow, this is mine, this is mine. Like you get into this big illusion consciousness. And before you know it, that's all gone. You're an old man, all these things falling apart. They don't care for you. And they don't even want to take care of you. They throw you in a nursing home. And they come to see you once in a while. And they just want to get rid of you. So, in the material concept of life, they have no understanding of this love. Only Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, gave us that love that can sustain us, uphold us. The pure love for Krishna can uphold us. Everything else in this world is just a bluff. I love you. When people say that, I just want to go away from there. I don't believe that at all. Yeah. Because they know, you have money, you have this. That's why there's some ulterior motive. If you have everything, you're not going to come to temple. Sometimes Krishna takes everything away. So people say, oh no, Hare, he takes everything away. I don't want to go. He takes away your material desire, which we are working so hard to get rid of it. And he takes it away so kindly and gives you bhakti, which is the most sustainable thing. Bhakti is the real opulence of a devotee, love for Krishna. Everything else is no love. You see, even devotees, we have become so attached, our family. And we forget Krishna. We come here, pack plate, bring prasad for your family. You can take a little bit and give them his prasad. You just respect a little bit. But you're thinking, I will give them, and then they'll give someone. And so it's become extended family relation. We are not thinking Krishna, we are thinking ourselves first. But nothing wrong in affection, but we always need to understand that there is a line where we have to understand between you and Krishna. How much am I actually really loving Krishna? His scale. For Krishna, a little bit love down here, for you up. You see. Now I'm thinking when I cook at the temple in the kitchen, I'm thinking every time I go in there, I'm thinking, I don't want to cook today for these people, you know. There's all this karmis coming here, you know. They can find their own food. I don't want to cook for them, and they may help me something, but just maintaining. But I don't need that. I could travel all the world, preach, and that'd be so much wonderful, I'd be stuck in this kitchen all the time, and people come and tell me what to do and stuff, and I really don't like it. But then I'm thinking to myself, at the end of the day, it's good what you did, because things we do make you humble. And if you're going closer to Krishna, people telling you off all the time, and it makes you humble, because if you go back to Godhead, it's you and God. Everybody else is serving Him. And if you have any issue, we have to fix that right now. Otherwise, you're not going to get there. So you have any problems with each other, we have problem with devotees. These things, I don't call it love, but it's a matter of understanding how we can live together happily. With Krishna in the center, it goes well. When we become the center, then it's a problem, because we are sifting it out like a sieve. I remember I used to work for a diamond company. They have these things called sieve, size, different sizes, the number. And you put the diamond in. If you're looking for size 10, which is very small and different size, so you put it in, all those sizes will go out, because that's the right size. If the bigger size stays up. So if you want diamond like size 15, that will stay up. All the smaller ones will go down. So they have different sieve, different sizes, big stack. And they have number on it. I remember working to sieve out, and then it's a lot of work. You have to color all the thing, and separate them. Sorting, they call it. So Krishna consciousness is a big sieve, and different numbers. He's sifting out. This guy, he over there, he over there. Everybody has the services. But Krishna is doing that just so that we can develop love for Him, just so that we can do more service in a nice way. So you send somebody who in the kitchen don't know how to cook, but then he can learn. But somebody who hates it, he won't understand. He won't do it nicely. You're forcing them, so give them another service. So we need to understand each other, how we can engage everyone in Krishna's service. That's why the spiritual master, he engages his disciple accordingly. We sing in the morning, Samsara Dava, those songs. Spiritual master, Chaturvidha, that's four kinds of food, chewing and then swallowing, and there's four kinds. Spiritual master eats it or engages. So similarly, spiritual master also in those verses, he engages his disciple accordingly. So Krishna similarly, out of his love, he allows himself to be his devotee son. How God can be son? He's the creator of everyone. He's the creator of the universe. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. The universe and the material world is coming from him. He's the source of creation, material and spiritual. But he wants to experience the love that his devotee has. So he becomes the son of Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj. Prabhupada explains here. And the 4 Kumaras, they always want to stay young. So they can always remain in that childhood life. They don't develop maturity. Because when you mature, then you will get a family and responsibility. They don't want that. So they can stay very small boy and innocent. So they can serve Krishna. I wish I could do that. You get older and you get mentality change, the body hormone change. And then you suddenly we have so many responsibilities in a mature world. And you think that you'll forget Krishna. There was this Sadananda, he had a guru, and then he told Sadananda that he needed to go home. He was young boy, like you, a young boy. And then he went home. He said, "Okay, I'll be coming back shortly." And when he went home, and he became attached to everything around in the family. And Indian parents generally they like their son to get married to not always. Sometimes they just want to get rid of you, but maybe. But generally, if they really love you, they want you to have a family. In the Western world, they want to get rid of you. But in India, generally, they like you to have your own family, and they get rid of you that way. Maybe have your family and get out, so he can live in peace. Maybe. So he went home, and he wasn't coming back. So his guru was waiting. What's happening? Sadananda, where is he? And so he went there. Guru went to the family, and they said, now he is married, and he will take time to come. So he said, okay. So Guru was very patiently waiting for him. So then, waiting, he wasn't coming. So he went there. He said he had child. So he said, when are you going to come? I said, give me some more time. So he went back after a while, and he said, I will come when the children grow up and they have their own family. That's going to take ages. That's his whole life. Where's the time to serve Krishna? So Guru was very patiently waiting. And then suddenly, he was an old man, because by the time the children grow up and they get married, you become an old man. And then your children have children. That by that time you're just ready to go. You're too old. So then the Guru was still waiting, and so he went there, and they said he passed away. So Guru was so patiently that still, in all this time, still waiting. So he knew where he was by his mystic power. He became very attached to his family. So he's still in the same house. They said, where is he? He said, he's a snake in the house and under the safe. Olden days, people used to keep money in their own home, like in a safe. So they wanted to beat the snake. He said, no, give him to me. He's my disciple. So he brought the snake home, and the snake was chanting Hare Krishna and everything, not violent. So he was in the Guru's ashram. So people were coming and throwing stick. So the Guru said, he said to Guru, I'm non-violent. I can't bite people. How come? What should I do? He said, you just go after them. You put up your fang and chase them, and they run away. You don't have to bite them. So my point is, Janme Prabhu said, the spiritual master is always waiting for us. Spiritual master is like Krishna. He comes for us. And Krishna, similarly, Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is waiting for us also. He makes the arrangement to send Guru to us. Now, sometime you're in the street, you're distributing a book. You are their Guru. You gave them a book, your first Guru. Bharata Padasaka Guru, right? The first Guru. You tell them about Krishna. You become the Guru. Somebody comes to a temple and you be very nice to them, you give them Mahaprasharam. I know somebody comes here, everybody wants to serve them because we're eager to make them a devotee, which is good. I give them a book. Luckily, we don't have so many people. We don't push them too much to sell a book. Make a friend, give them pushadam, and tell them how, if they like it, that's why they came here. So you become their guru. They really appreciate. Krishna will appreciate because you are nice to them. If you're not nice to somebody come to your home, that means you have a problem. You're not nice to your family, your children, you're nagging them and beating them up. That's probably also a reason for you to get out. They wanted to get out. So we have to learn to be nice. Because Krishna is the most nicest person. He's God full of love. Like you're talking about love. Rocks and trees, they are love. They also have their way. So we want to be better than that. Love Krishna means show your love. Not just talk about it. Show your love. Isn't it? And I first joined Hare Krishna movement in Mayapur, 1973. I didn't think people had love. I'm not saying anything wrong. People are just so macho. Everyone because we love Prabhupada, but we hate everyone else. Maybe. But they didn't, I'm just saying, they didn't. But it was so intense to be a devotee. Really intense. I was complaining like anything every day to my mother. I hate this place. I hate these white people. They're just too pushy. And they talk about love. I don't think they have love. My mother said to you are a rascal. You just stay here. These white people are demigods. They are like that because they love you. They want to serve Prabhupada nicely. They want you to make sure that you become a good devotee. That's why they're heavy with you. But I don't like it. You're also nice, but you're not like them. And there's one white Mataji, very big lady. So every time I saw her, run the other way. She was my ashram, clean the body and stuff. We were very small, so we had Maharajis. They didn't have enough teachers. This lady was from Los Angeles, big American lady. And she used to clean my ears. In India those days they didn't have much. They had this plastic scrubber. You know what I'm talking about. It's very popular. They used to clean the clothes and stuff, or ground. They're using on our ears. We'll be all screaming. 5 of us. They didn't have a big Gurukul back then. He was screaming. I was screaming, Mataji, come, And so I only learned to hate. I didn't have love for devotees. And they say, you eat what we give you. We didn't have enough prasadam, and they just give us. It wasn't so good, not so tasty. They didn't have ghee back then. So it was we were getting malnutrition. They didn't have any food. And so they said, open your mouth, they put 1 tablespoon of ghee. Because they didn't have enough ghee. Here is everything too much ghee. We're even throwing it. Some of you guys don't want ghee because it's too heavy. But that time we didn't even have ghee. So it was so tough. I said, how you can talk about love? And I was a small boy. And I went into Mataji's ashram because my mother was staying there. Look for her. When you're small, you attach to your parents. You haven't grown up yet. I just trying to get away from all the big devotees. They were just so pushy. And so when I went to the ashram, and my mother wasn't there, and all the white Matajis, they said, what are you doing here? Are you in Gurukul? Get out. So I was like, everywhere you go is where to go, So one day my mother went to Navadip. And so I was crying and going around looking for her. I thought she left me, in this ISKCON. And I thought, this is the wrong place. I don't want to be here, So they locked me up. One devotee named Mother Savita. He's a guru now, Italian devotee, very nice devotee. He locked me up in the Lotus building, and I couldn't get out. So those rooms in the Lotus building, they didn't have metal windows. You can just open the wooden windows. It's a latch, and you can jump out. It's only your level. So that's what I did. And then I was looking, they couldn't find me. And then they said, your mother went some doctor in Navadip. Hey, she's back. I said, oh, phew. And then I felt good. So, mother's love is always pure. That's what I was talking about before. Love for children, mothers, is real love. So sometimes we make a show. So we have to create that love amongst us. Otherwise we get the wrong concept of what is love. At least talk about it in a nice way and behave in that way. Then whole life you'll remember, oh, this guy, he said something so nice. He was so nice to me. He gave me this. You'll remember whole your life. At the same time, someone said something wrong, you also remember, oh, this guy was so nasty. Especially when you're young, somebody do something, you have this mind, you're growing up and you start to realize, you remember everything in your whole life. I remember I was a kid in Santipur. I grew up in Santipur. And one boy, his name was Karthik, Bengali boy, very strong, same age as me, but he hit me. And I couldn't fight back. Everyone said, fight him back. I couldn't, he was strong. I still today remember. I said, I wish I find him, I'll give him back. So you have this attitude. So when Krishna, he gives us a love, that's so pure, so loving. Like crystal clear water. When you're thirsty, you drink a little bit of water from a river or so pure. It's so satisfying. You don't want anything. So Krishna is so loving. He's giving us things that satisfies us completely. He didn't say, give me so much, this, so much money, this. He said, just chant my name. Satatam kirtayanto man. He didn't ask for anything. He said, just chant my name. Offer some flower to me. He didn't say, give me pizza, give me rasamalai. We are following because now we can. But if he didn't have anything, he didn't expect from us. Patram puspam palautoyam. Whatever you have, fruit, flower, water, I accept it. You offer devotion. So Krishna always wants love from us. That's why he became the son of his devotee. Because where you can get that love. Don't think only the devotees in spiritual will have love for him. Here also. That's why he comes here. And perform pastimes with his devotee in the material world. That devotee is here. It's the whole world is his creation. Even in the spiritual world, he wants something different. He wants to come down here in a material world and experience that love in a different way. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, he is a combination of Radha and Krishna. He wants to feel what the Radharani has, that love for him, how it is like. That's so much love. That's why he is golden form, like Radharani. So similarly, all these things are very, very nice. That how, if you can understand, parental love of Krishna, the loving affairs between, Ramada Yashoda Ananda Maharaj with Krishna as a child. In Gujarat, they worship Krishna as a Laddu Gopal. They wake up Krishna with songs, the childhood pastimes. They want to see Krishna like a childhood pastime. They're loving that. That's why they worship Laddu Gopal. Not so much, that lila, the childhood lila, Vrindavan lila. It's very nice. It's very sweet. And then there's Dwarka, Krishna is different. Kurukshetra, different. Different types of pastimes. Vatsalya, friendship, as 5 types of rasas Krishna has. Neutral. So Krishna's parental it's very loving. It's very sweet. This is why even our grihastas, you have children. It's not just having a family, husband and wife. You have children because they bring joy to the family. They give that. They enliven the family with you have a child. Then they grow up. It's a loving feeling. It's not very dry. If you're husband and wife every day and it's dry, unless you are serving Krishna, there's going to be friction there. So when you have children, they fill up the house with children and an activity. And you love the children, and they speak in such a way, and then they go to school. There's so many things, responsibility, but also they give pleasure to the family. So Krishna, Krishna, imagine Krishna. He was giving a lot of hard time to Yashoda, stealing butter, and people are complaining. We're going to have the, Damodar Puja soon, this month. So Krishna was giving a lot of hard time to Mother Yashoda. That's why he wanted to punish Krishna. But actually, Mother Yashoda, this is all loving affairs between mother and father and son. And Krishna, he loves that kind of pastime, to act like that. Yeah. So it's we need to understand through knowledge that Krishna's relationship with his devotee, he has many types of relationship. Like I said, 5 types of relationship. All this relationship, because Krishna is there, it becomes perfect. When you take Krishna out, and then it's Maya. Like Prabhupada says here, it's not transcendental anymore. Even as Grihastha family have children, because you are trying to make them Krishna conscious, you're offering food to Krishna, you have a deity in a home, so it's all transcendental. It becomes very blissful. But otherwise, it's just mundane. Raise your children and have a family and then die and then finish, and there's nothing so special. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yes? Yeah. Yes. Mm. Mm. The thing is, this is why there must be much more emphasis on, we have these temples, and even this temple we have, all our ISKCON centers all over the world, Srila Prabhupada, he made it very, very luxurious temple, a very comfortable feeling, a lot of prasharam, a beautiful deity, very clean, very soothing. When people come here, they feel, wow, I want to be around here. So Prabhupada, he gave us this, and even he created the ashram, Grihastha ashram. Like Gauriya didn't have, it's all sannyasi and brahmachari. They didn't have Mataji serving, and Mataji here can worship the deity. So Prabhupada actually took it to the next level of Krishna consciousness. So it's difficult if we don't take part in Krishna consciousness and enjoy it. We can become victimized by material world, by sense gratification. But all the grihasthas here, all the devotees here, not only grihasthas, everyone, all the devotee community, they like it very much because Prabhupada created this atmosphere, this Vaishnava community. It's so soothing. This is what I was emphasizing, this point, when we are associating together, all of us together. We need to create that loving feeling amongst us. Because what happens, if it is not, if in the material world, the business people, there's a lot of frictions. And they go away. There's nothing loving about those business talks. It's all, there may be some extent, but as Vaishnava, as devotees, we're talking these things. It extends our love for each other. That's why you have to hear about Krishna. So when you can love Krishna, then we will love everyone. Because just like if you are in a room and your already sun's up and still sleeping, everything is dark. It looks dark. It looks like still nighttime. So when you open the curtain, they say, "Oh my God, I'm sleeping too much. It's already overtime. Sun's up. So, similarly, we have to wake up to knowledge. That knowledge is Bhakti Yoga. When you love Krishna consciousness, through knowledge, Jnana Yoga, by associating, our visions is broaden. So it's not just an external thing on the surface. We have to go deeper. Then we will understand more. Then there is no violence amongst us. There is no so much attachment to material world. Because we understand, okay, this is not right. It's also come by realization. When you're suffering, you turn to Krishna. So, of course, there's a struggle. Because we're in the material world. We're not in the spiritual world. The temple helps us to guide us to Krishna more. The temple atmosphere, the devotees, the deity worship, hearing Krishna Katha, these things gives us the rise in spiritual life. So if you don't do these things, even in family, it can become materially only, more mundane. We have a routine life, you go to work, you come home, eat your roti, and this and that, watch a little bit of telly, and then go to sleep, and go shopping. It becomes very mundane without Krishna consciousness. Everybody is doing that. And then there's so much problems. So without God consciousness, human life is meant to arose to love, to spiritual life, spiritual understanding. That's the purpose of human life. If we don't do that, it only becomes mundane. We get bogged down in the material world, more and more. Like a quicksand. You fall in the quicksand, you try to get out, you only go down. You get stuck. So in the material life, in a material atmosphere, it only once become more stuck. You can't get up. So spiritual solution is the ultimate solution to everything. Spiritual solution is the solution to material solution too. Material solution itself cannot solve the material solution without spiritual solution. They're trying it. You see the disease today. After almost a year, they still don't have a vaccine. But they're trying to get it. But they don't know if it's going to work or not. But we know. Enasi osodi maya nasi baraboli. Harinama Mahamantra allowed to be magi. Bhaktivedanta Thakur said, I have brought this medicine, the holy name. We know that. But they don't have faith. So, go away. Chant Hare Krishna, it's not going to help. It does. We have to have faith. I believe by chanting Hare Krishna, it can make you healthy. Singing and dancing can make you healthy. It's an exercise also. If you have to have faith. When you sit down and chant Hare Krishna with love, tears in your eyes, hair standing on the end. If you have any hair on your head, you stand on end. But it's not like that. It's in the heart. It's a condition of our consciousness. We're loving consciousness in our heart, calling out for Krishna. That gives good health. People in the material world, they can't even laugh because they're so much in anxiety. It's so hard for them to smile because they're full of anxiety underneath. It's not coming out. The devotees, they can't stop laughing. You see, what do you have? You live in an ashram, you don't have family, you don't have money, you don't have any, maybe you do, but where's your happiness coming from? From Krishna. Ultimate happiness comes from Krishna, not from material things. So sometimes we have to wake up to this. Even as devotees, we get bogged down in the family life. We start to think, oh, this is my children, my family, my this. Like I gave the example, this is going to be all gone one day. It's between you and God. So we have to wake up to knowledge. Then through knowledge, Jnana Yoga, we can understand, this is the right, what you're saying. This is what you're saying, Krishna, you're saying. So we have to turn to the light of knowledge. That's what Bhagavatam says. Look away from darkness. Turn to light of God, light of knowledge. Take shelter of holy name. Associate with devotees. This is what we're saying. If we don't, like I said, we only get stuck in the material world more and more. And it's very hard to get up. That's why the spiritual master, that's why Krishna comes. Perform his Leela. To attract us living entities who are so much bogged down in ignorance. Om Agnati Vanandasya. Spiritual master comes And Krishna performed his wonderful pastimes, Leela, as a childhood. And we get attracted to this Leela, the ordinary living entities. He lifted Govardhan Hill. So wow, small child lifted Govardhan Hill. We haven't seen it, but that hill is still there in Vrindavan. And we can hear the pastimes. So we get attracted to that. Krishna is not only just sitting in the spiritual world and having Leela with his devotee. He's coming down here all the time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna came, Varaha, Nrsimha, they all come down here, perform their Leela. Because these are the messages for us to attract us to come back to him. What is the reason for Krishna to become a son of, Navi? He said, I don't need it. You all are my sons. Why I should become your son? That's what I would tell if I'm God. But he is so merciful. He becomes the son of his devotee to attract us to him, to increase his love for his devotee. Even Krishna wants to have more love for his devotee. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he combined himself form as Radharani. Because why she has so much love for Krishna. Even God he is full of everything, but still he wants to know why his devotee love him so much. This is a very loving exchange. So my point is that for us to understand these things, it's difficult because the Maya is so strong in the material world. We have been in the material world for millions of lifetimes. So suddenly we want to become lover of God. So there's going to be a lot of challenges. So that's not easy. So that's why we have to be very strong. The spiritual strength comes from chanting, associating devotee, hearing Krishna Katha from a devotee. It's not just comes. It's a struggle. But that struggle is transcendental. Krishna will help us. But if we are going to just stand and it's not going to come, we have to work at it. Yeah, everything we have to work at it. Krishna Bhakti, love for Krishna comes through our effort. And when Krishna sees he's sitting in our heart, he will help us. Spiritual master will help us. But we have to initially make the effort also. And that just comes. Like I was giving the example of the food on your plate. There's a lot of work behind before it falls on your plate. So similarly, bhakti yoga, loving devotion to Krishna, it's a method of service, loving devotional service. Not sitting all day. Even chanting Hare Krishna means please engage me in your service. Just a couple months ago we did the holy name. We were talking about holy name. And everyone's emphasizing that chanting the holy name means to engage me in your service. Hare Krishna. It's a prayer, mantra. Different types of mantra, tantra, yantra. The mantra means it's a prayer to relieve us from material anxiety. Please engage us in your service. Take me away from Maya. I'm so stuck in the material world. Please, Krishna, help me. So when you see the deity, we have to pray to Krishna. That's how we are seeing the deity. That's how our life should be. Okay. ठीक है? Hare Krishna. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.